Hello, Facebook family and friends. It's me again, Katanya Shakir, with another short segment from Behind the Wall. I just wanted to come on this afternoon to say I hope that you're having a grand Sunday and that all is well, and that your National Daughters Day is going well for the mothers and daughters that I know, both near and far. And as I come on, I actually a few days ago I was like, oh man, I need to make a segment, and I wanted to talk about your thoughts or our thoughts, and I'm not going to really talk about that today, but what I am going to talk about is changing directions. Sometimes it's necessary that we change directions so that we can have the flow into the things that we want to do, so that our dreams and our ambitions and our desires can actually move smoothly. So changing a direction and moving around and moving from place to place, or even just changing your thought processes, and actually, when I think about changing direction, sometimes you do a turn. It may be a half turn, it may be a full turn, but sometimes it's necessary. So what I thought about a couple of months ago, I was traveling to Atlanta, and my flight, I was actually supposed to get to Atlanta at like 8:30 that night, and I ended up not getting there probably to my friend's place probably until about 10:30 or so. She picked me up, so 10:45ish we made it to her place. But what held us up was leaving Dallas. I was traveling on Frontier Airlines, not an airline that I normally travel, but I had some credit there, so I was like, I need to try to use this money. But to get to that, there was a delay, and we were moving, but we weren't taxiing for takeoff. And it seems like we were riding and moving a long time, and then the airline pilot came on, and he told us what was happening. And he was saying that he had to travel to the other side of the airport, so that because of the winds from where we had taken off from our gate, the winds that going that way, leaving from that direction, were too strong. So he traveled around to the other side of the airport. And in doing so, he explained to us, he said sometimes what happens is the plane does have to be rerouted to leave out of another, path, because the flow of the wind, they have to fly into the wind or with the wind, rather than being opposing forces and the wind coming one way and the plane going the other. They said because that causes a problem, that the best way to take off is to travel with the wind, so you can use that force to help lift you up. And as I was sitting there, and they tell you turn the phone off, but I still could type and send a text, because we were on the ground. So I sent a text to myself, and I put down, sometimes you have to change direction so that you can flow. Just as with that aircraft, we had to move around to the other side of DFW so that we could be in the right flow. Don't let people, don't let your thoughts, don't let things and situations get you stuck going into a direction that has an opposing force there, and you see it, and you just want to keep going. Well, this is the way I've always gone. This is the closest route to me. But sometimes it's necessary to take yourself and go all the way around, so that when you do take off, you're flowing and you know that you're in the right place. To me, I was reminded of how I make decisions and try to make decisions that connect to my peace. If there's no peace in it, then it's not going to be a good move for me. So sometimes I may have to stay still. Like we were just in there waiting. It was a line of planes ahead of us. People on the plane on the plane that I was on were getting disgruntled. I've got to use the bathroom, but they could not let us get up because the plane was moving. And then at any point they may say, "Hey, it's our turn." So it was a whole lot going on. But sometimes when we are trying to take off in a way, and we feel that opposition, we feel that force of the wind and the obstacles and things, sometimes you have to stand still or choose another route. And so it's so important to be versatile, to be flexible, so that you can make the right decision and the right move. And I thought about, as I was writing this out a little while ago, I was thinking about, the word came to me, aerodynamics. Now I know that has something to do with wind and planes and all of that things, that plane is built in such a way so that the aerodynamics of it, so that the wind does not drag it down. And you and I are the same way. We know when something is dragging us down. We have that ability and that knowing in our mind. We know that. And sometimes, for whatever reason, we'll keep trying to press and go in that opposing way. And we feel the force. We feel that thing pushing back and going against us, but we still go that way. But we need to make sure that we conform to our aerodynamics, if you allow me to say that, but conform to what sets with peace and what gives us the smoothest way. And not saying that in life the decisions that we make or the ways that we go in won't have some little bumps and obstacles, but when there's a consistent thing and something that really could take you out, had we gone the other way, it was going to be so much wind coming against us that possibly could have caused some failure in the plane, caused some other ways. So when pilots are making these decisions, they're making them because that's the best fit. And sometimes that's what we have to do. We have to make some decisions because it's the best fit for us, not the best fit for mom, dad, my friends. I've got to make the decisions to go into the direction that's the best fit for Katanya, because I'm the one who's going to have to deal with this stuff. So as we're going along today, and this little thought that came to me while I was sitting there, sometimes it's necessary to change directions. And changing directions can be a great thing. It can yield some great results. Of course, I got to Atlanta late, but I got there. And so I still was able to have, that little time there and spend my time there. So sometimes this stuff, it becomes a hindrance. It puts you in a lagging state when you just say, well, I'm just not going to change. I'm going to keep pressing on this way and pressing on. And then you find yourself stagnated. You're not being productive and flourishing like you want to. So let's keep in mind today, as you go about and start this week, even on your job, with your family and things that you've got to do. Maybe you've got some business things that you've got to take care of, some things with your children or your husband or wife or what have you. Let's make sure that we're thinking and that we're following our peace. And if at any point we have to change directions, let's do it. Let's go in the direction of things that fit our aerodynamics, that fit us. Why would I go and do something that I know that doesn't fit me, but I'm still trying to go? Now, I know I don't know anything about being an art teacher. Why am I going and applying for art positions to be an art teacher? I don't know anything about that. That's not my niche. So when we think about it and we move forward today, I just wanted to share that because that just stood out to me, and it made me think about making decisions in my life and friends and loved ones who also are faced with making decisions in their lives. How we need to make sure that we're shifting and changing as we need to, so that we can fit in that rhythm and we can be in that flow, the way that things need to go for us and the things that we want for our own lives. Not necessarily, and my carved out way is not necessarily going to fit someone else. That person or those people have a way that fits them. So with that, that's all I have today. I just wanted to share that little nugget. I hope you can glean something from it, something that will help you think about the thoughts and the decisions that you're making, and that you can be able to make some decisions that fit your flow. Change your direction if you need to. And if at any point you say, well, I just don't know, and you keep coming up against opposing forces, it's okay to take a halt and stop at that point. So I'm finished. That's all I wanted to share. I want you to know that I love you and that I'm often thinking about you. And I want to remind you again to be good to yourself so that you can be good to others. Take care until next time. I love you guys.